All right, it's road trip time. I'm heading down to the southern tip of Plaquemines Parish, down to Venice, Louisiana, to go fishing with Captain Dustin Bounds. He and I tried to do a trip a couple of weeks ago, but like the 5th tropical storm of the year was threatening. We had to cancel the trip. We rescheduled it for tomorrow, and guess what? We're barely getting it in before the next tropical event is coming. I thought for sure we were done with this, but apparently not. So it's gonna be blowing hard tomorrow. But the good news is, in Venice this time of year, most years, including this year, the Mississippi River is down, and that means the fishing sometimes can get really, really good, and I'm hoping it will be tomorrow, despite the forecast for some really intense winds. But we'll see. All right, so I just got down to Venice Marina, went and checked in. This is where I'm staying tonight. Venice Marina put in a bunch of these cabins. They're waterfront, and from what I hear, they're really, really nice. It'll be the first time I'm staying here, so let's go check them out. All right, nice and cozy. Got a full kitchen. Couple of bunk beds. Looks like another room back here with another bunk bed. Looks like it sleeps 6. I won't take up that much room. All right, it'll definitely be a comfy night. Now I got down here early so I could grab a bite to eat. Also, I really like walking the docks and seeing the fish that are coming in from the day's guide trips. I don't know if anybody went offshore today, because let me tell you, it is screaming. The wind is really, really screaming out here. But if they did, we'll get to see some big tuna and maybe something else. Who knows? All right, for dinner, I've come to a place called Changes. It's a fairly new restaurant down here. I guess it's been here maybe a year or two, but I've eaten here before. It's really good, and so that's where I'm gonna eat tonight. I did a pass down the Venice Marina docks, and there was nobody coming back with any fish because, look, I mean, it's blowing literally 25 miles an hour right now. Probably not a whole lot of people went offshore today. If they did, I'm sure they spent the whole day chumming. So anyway, time to unwind and have a good meal here at Changes. Grilled shrimp and sweet potatoes. Boy, does that look good. All right, I'm not sure, but that literally may have been the best grilled shrimp I've ever had in my life, including ones that I've made myself, and I consider myself a pretty good cook. So now I'm gonna head back to Venice Marina and see if I can find anybody coming back to the docks with any offshore fish. But if I strike out there, I'm just gonna head back to the room, chillax. It's a Monday today, so I'm just gonna watch some Monday Night Football and get some baits tied up for tomorrow.
This episode of Marshman Masson is brought to you by Puglia Sporting Goods.
All right, well, it's the next morning. I slept great. That's the good news, but there's a whole lot of bad news. I stepped out just a couple of minutes ago, and that forecast wind is definitely here. My goodness, it is blowing a gale. Really, really strong winds. Only supposed to build as the day goes on. As this stupid hurricane gets even closer, I suspect this will be the last day anybody fishes around here for at least the next few days. We'll see what this storm does. By the time you're watching this, the storm will have already passed, so you'll know. Not only that, but kind of the leading bands of the storm are right off the coast. So it looks like it's gonna rain all day. And unfortunately, I didn't bring a rain suit, so I just texted Dustin to see if he's got an extra one. Said he doesn't think he does, so I'm gonna see if I can find one down at the dock. Venice in the fall can definitely be magical, so hopefully the fishing is worth all this trouble. We'll see. All right, here's Dustin's boat. He ran back to his camp to go see if he could find me a rain suit because it's already raining. And somebody came unprepared.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? Man, we can pick a day, huh? All right, Dustin and I made a long run in some absolutely nasty conditions. October is normally our prettiest month, but you would not know it by today. Rain all around us. It's spitting rain here, and the wind is howling. But Dustin's been catching a few trout in this area, so we're gonna try for that first. He brought some live shrimp, and believe me, I'm gonna resort to it before too long, I know that, but I gotta start with this matrix shrimp just to see if they'll hit it. If you saw my last video, you know, I caught some fish on this thing, Really like it. So just got to give it a whirl. Let's see. Water looks okay. It's about a 4 out of 10, I'd say.
We've just been hitting these points.
Right.
These wind-blown shorelines.
Definitely got some bait in here. What kind of bait you been seeing lately? I mean, you seeing any shrimp at all? Is it all pogies and mullet?
Mostly pogies.
Yeah.
A lot of birds diving on them.
On the pogies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. It's not looking trouty. Not looking trout-like. It's not catfishy?
No.
Well, that's good. Is it redfishy?
I think it's sheephead. It's popping his head like a sheephead.
Acting sheepy. Yep, big sheep. You want me to net him? No. Man, that's a big sheephead. That is a beast. Beautiful smile. Well, we won't get skunked. I like them. I mean, I know a lot of people don't. I know they're a little bit harder to clean, whatever, but
I got that sawzall.
yeah.
I just ripped right through them. They're almost easier to clean than reds with that sawzall blade.
Yeah, I've never been opposed to them. Joel always laughs at me because I call them the most underrated fish in Louisiana. They really are. People here hate them.
Oh yeah.
And I don't understand it because they're really good to eat.
We come down here about a month ago, buddies cooked up, made some sheephead cakes.
Uh-huh.
That was pretty good.
Like he boiled the meat, yeah, and cheesecloth.
Crab bowl,
Yeah.
and like
Yep, I've done that.
together.
Uh-oh.
Trout.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
That was a nice.
That was a nice trout.
Yeah.
I was running for the net. Fish on, fish on. Sheepy?
Like another good one too.
Clearly.
They don't make those long runs. They just pop that head.
Right.
Hey, the reds we've been catching have been nice. Get up in the canes.
Like overs or
Yeah.
unders? Overs.
Yeah, they're either 12 inches or they're gonna be 30 inches.
All right. When we net him, you can flip him.
Nah,
All right. Another big one. All right, I'm putting on a hook. I'm guessing it's another sheep. Yep. Yep. All right. There he is. It's not a sheep. I don't know what it is. It's a rat red. Rat red. All right, a day like today, you take what you can get. We're catching sheephead and redfish. But man, it's something to stretch the line, and it's actually a whole lot of fun. And they're biting pretty much every cast.
You like that Versamat?
Yeah, I really do. I like it a lot. I change my leader depth all the time.
Yeah.
It's coming down now. It is pouring rain.
Yeah, last time we tried to fish, we had what, 50 mile an hour?
Right.
60 mile an hour.
Yeah, it wasn't doable.
Hey, it was looking worse at first. At one point, it was supposed to be like 30 mile an hour winds today. Which we're approaching now.
In all honesty, the wind isn't, well, I don't want to say it. If we didn't have this rain,
Right, the wind came with the rain. Yeah, it was definitely doable before the rain hit.
Got this big 10-count shrimp in here.
Yeah, some of them shrimp you can butterfly.
Yeah. I'll go with jumbo. Come on, jumbo.
Did you get down yesterday? Oh.
It's not a big fish on that giant shrimp. Dude, how'd you fit that in your mouth? You're not much bigger than a shrimp.
This episode of Marshman Masson is brought to you by Death Grip Jig Heads, and by Bill Lewis Lures, and by Plaquemines Parish, and by Sportsman'sOutfitters.com, and by Delta Marina.
And I'm glad I brought a change of clothes. Volunteer. I mean, as soon as it hits the water, it goes down. That might be a trout. That might be a trout. If it is, it's a nice one. I'm thinking more sheep now, but he broke a couple times.
Yeah, behind his
Nice trout. Good speckled trout. All right. Real pretty fish.
49 more of those.
I thought he was a trout. I mean, he came up, but then he started digging a little bit.
Yeah.
But man, he hit when that, you got a trout?
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah.
Get him, Dustin. See a netter?
I think I can flip him.
Famous last words. All right. A small keeper, but a keeper looks like. So what we're fishing, if you can see it in the rain and hear me in the rain, is just a gap between two islands. And it's full of bait. I mean, mullet, finger mullet galore. Also think I've seen some pogies. Dustin said he hasn't seen many shrimp in this area lately, and I'm not seeing any now. Water clarity is just okay, but the fish are definitely here. When you throw a live shrimp out there, he doesn't last long.
Oh, he got me.
He already got you? Yeah, he got me too.
Couldn't tell, I saw him go behind a wave.
You down?
Yeah, but I think it might be a Capt.
You threw it in his mouth.
Croaker.
Croaker. Catching a seafood platter today. Next, Dustin's gonna come up with a scallop.
That's what I love about down here, the variety.
Oh, no doubt. All right, what are you? What are you? Who knows? Who knows? Came up and broke, Dustin. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I'm thinking rat red. Not looking trouty. I'm thinking rat red. Rat red. Got a shrimp whisker on him. See you, dude. I think it's getting harder, Dustin. There's that wind. This is not the fish of the day. Oh, look at that, a mangrove. Literally a seafood platter. This guy would be very good to eat. He was about double his size.
I remember when I caught my first one here. The yellow
Mangrove?
Yellow cotton. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Dustin, I don't know. I'm done guessing. I'm thinking sheep, but it could be a trout. Not thinking sheep anymore. Oh, rat red. What you got there, Dustin? What's your guess? Hurry up. You got to guess.
I'm going to guess rat red.
Rat red. It's probably a safe bet. Let's see. Let's see. Yep, you got it. You nailed it. All right, Dustin, obviously today, I mean, conditions do not get a whole lot worse for fishing, but we still caught fish. Now, the fishing down here, it's not prime yet, but it's actually getting pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, once all these storms go through, you know, since that storm we had a couple weeks ago, it's been blowing 15, 20 miles an hour, and it's just been tough. Things haven't been able to get settled down yet, but as soon as this wind calms down, I think things will really start to heat up down here.
Yeah, it's definitely the right time of year. With, you know, as the season kind of moves along, you know, fall, we get in October, November, what happens to the fish here? How does your fishing change?
As the water temperatures start to get a little lower and the fish start to group up more, and you start seeing them in the ditches and in the river on the flats. But once that water temperature starts to change, you should start seeing them group together a little more.
Okay. All right, and you know, what are you looking for? You know, obviously one of the great benefits of Venice is you can go east. You got certain conditions, you know, west wind, whatever. You go east, you get east wind, you can go to the west. What are some things that, you know, tell you each day when you're out here which kind of direction you should go in?
Yeah, typically, you know, you get a lot of northeast wind, northwest wind this time of year. And, you know, just trying to find clean water, get behind pockets. Most of our fish has been on the outside here lately. That's where we're finding more of our numbers. The small fish just haven't really seen them move in just yet, so we've been focusing more on the outside, outer porch, kind of like a springtime pattern. So just depending on the wind direction is where we've been.
Right, okay, and everybody gets excited in the fall in Venice because that river gets low, and a lot of times the speckled trout move in, but a lot of people jump the gun. When does that typically start to really happen?
It just kind of depends on the water temperature. Typically, end of October, beginning of November is when they start to move in. The water temperature gets in the low 60s. And that's when you're going to see your speckled trout move in this year. Okay,
and when that happens, you know, when the trout do move in, gotten word that they're in or whatever, how do you target those fish?
In your deep canals, deep holes, the diversion, the first spillway, past the Lutra, Southeast Pass, that's where you're looking for the highways where they're coming in from offshore and they're moving in. Finding deep holes, good canals.
And what do you like to throw to them when that's the case?
Either Carolina rig on bottom, plastic, anything chartreuse. Most of the time we're throwing live bait, but when those trout move in, you can catch them on plastic just as well.
Now, typically all those areas you mentioned are high current areas, so I'm guessing you got to use a lot of weight on that Carolina rig.
About a half ounce. If Carolina rig, half ounce, get it on bottom. It just depends on what time of day. Sometimes you start out if they're on bottom, and then as the water temperature moves up, you work your way up the ledge and on the flats, and they'll move up on the flats later in the day.